Welcome to the Bendeno Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. The league is broke. They can't pay you what you ladies think you deserve. They can pay you what you're worth, but what you think you're owed, WNBA doesn't have enough money to cover that expense. Mark Cuban very politely, shout out to you, Mark, very politely says these teams in this league, they don't make enough moolah. The league doesn't make enough moolah to pay you guys what you want. Sorry, it's the reality of the situation. Mark Cuban has officially entered the chat. He gives a suggestion on what can fix some of these players' woes. And he very politely, matter-of-factly, calls a spade a spade. WNBA can't afford it. Let's get right into it, shall we? Please like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below and subscribe to the channel. I would so greatly appreciate it. Mark Cuban responding to the latest news that WNBA players are asking for an average of 27.5% of league revenue and team-provided housing for all players in recent CBA discussions. The WNBA's response, unrealistic and would cause hundreds of millions of damage. Let's get into it. The crazy part is that no matter what the WNBA does with salaries, every star college player will take a pay cut to play in the WNBA. Now, this isn't just WNBA specific. I saw Rose talk about this. Shout out Black and White Sports too. This is happening in the NFL too. Memory serves me correctly. Cam Ward, last year, prior to his final season in Miami, so 2 years ago at this point, declared for the draft. Miami said, hey, we got a big fat bag for you here, more than you would make being a rookie in 2025. Come to Miami, we'll pay you, and then you can go to the pros. Cam Ward said, bet, I don't want to take a pay cut, and I don't want to sit either. I'll come back to college, I'll make a massive amount of money, and I'll play for Miami. So this happens in college football quite often. Carson Beck, if Carson Beck goes to the NFL, you know how much money Carson Beck is going to be losing, quote unquote, taking less, be losing a lot of money. I asked a few ADs what the going rate is for the star player on a power conference women's basketball team. $500,000 to $1.2 million. And you're always a free agent with the portal. You get your room and board paid for, and you can get a good education if you work at it. It's all subsidized by donors and shared school revenues, which makes it more similar to Europe, where companies subsidize teams, than to the WNBA. In the NBA, a team can't go to a sponsor and negotiate a direct payment deal for a player. In college, they effectively can with NIL money. When I have written checks to IU, I knew which players we're trying to get with the money. Quote, parentheses, although I never tie the money to specific players, it's up to them. The WNBA needs to look at allowing the same thing. Let the teams go to local sponsors and work out payments to players as part of sponsorship packages. The big name players have agents to do this. The rest make minimal amounts, with or without an agent. Let WNBA teams pay NIL money to its players. It's counterintuitive for NBA folks, but here is the issue. WNBA teams don't have the margin dollars from tickets, sponsors, and shared revenues like TV to pay bigger salaries using their own cash flow. Own cash flow. Now, these players would say, hey, why don't you just dip into some of your Brooklyn Nets cash? Why don't you just dip into some of your Golden State Warriors cash? Why don't you just dip into some of your Portland Trail Blazers cash? Some of your Lakers and clip some of that cash. Why don't you just dip into that? Well, because it's not yours. It's mine. You need to worry about your own league. Indeed. With help from the league, they could create NIL deals with sponsors that go directly to the players from the sponsors. Similar to what the Aces got busted for. Shout out to Mark Davis. Make it legal. Create a cap per player based on years of experience. Yes, some teams will suck at it. That's where the WNBA comes in to help. They will suck at it as well for some period, but like collegiate NIL, The sponsorship packages will supplement player salaries without undermining the economics of the teams and league itself. The next question will be competitive balance issues. The big markets can do this better. They have a great addressable market for sponsors. The WNBA could require that some percentage of the NIL money deals go into a pool for a version of revenue share. Very well. This is effectively what happens or did with jersey ads. I remember advocating that the jersey ads be split with all teams because the greatest value to sponsors come not from local TV or games, but from national TV, playoffs, and jersey sales. This would be similar. Obviously, I'm just spitballing this, but if they came on Shark Tank, that's what I would suggest. What do you think? Well, you know what, Mr. Cuban? For just spitballing this, I'm not mad at it. Yeah, some places will have an advantage, and you can't get around the advantage to a certain degree. But I'm for it. I'm for it. What's the difference between that, right? Let's say, right? Some places will have a better advantage than others. But what's the difference between that and somebody going to New York for less money, but you're in the Big Apple and you're going to get sponsorship deals just by being in the Big Apple? One's on the record, one's off the record, fair. What's the difference between that and sort of what Sophie Cunningham, dare I say, did with Indiana? She went from Phoenix to Indiana, played with Caitlin Clark. She blew up. She's a superstar. She's all over the place. So your proximity to either a big market or greatness, you're going to benefit one way or another. Let's take a look at some of these reactions. If true that the league isn't profitable and able to stand on its own, does any of it matter? Just let it fold. It's subpar basketball. Once everyone is done pretending to care about it, it'll fade away naturally. Yikes. Yikes. The big problem is that no one watches women's basketball because the level of competition is so low. Men are so much better at the game. This looks like a woman saying this as well, so I don't want to see anything in the comments. Men are so much better at the game that you're essentially watching middle school level hoops. The game is boring for everyone that doesn't see it as a social cause. Damn! Damn. The ownership structure is broken. It is broken. The problem with the WNBA, that they all think they are or should be as big of a draw as the one player in the league who is a bona fide superstar. So they think they are all the reason for the Caitlin Clark effect. Players think the massive bump in attendance and ratings is to see players who don't actually fill the seats or make people watch games. WNBA commissioner thinks it's due to a new mobile app. I'm not making this up. And because of other rookies not named Caitlin Clark who have large social media followings, but again, do not put asses in seats or draw ratings. David Webb, you're cooking here. Other stakeholders want the league and its success to develop according to what they want. A product showcasing Black and LGBTQ, you forgot the plus, women playing a half court, elbows in the paint, 80s NBA physical brand of basketball, instead of embracing the full court, fast-paced, exciting brand of ball that their lone household name has introduced to the league. That actually does bring a bigger audience and fill the seats. Like the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.